So every year, right around the holidays, I go through my bin of broken points, bifaces, different blades, big old knife blades, and I've always saved them. I've never thrown them out or continued to work it. I always kind of imagined in my mind at that point in time, this stone didn't want to be what I wanted it to be. So I put it in my crate and eventually I returned to it. And today, like most days, I'm knapping stone. And here's just a couple of the different projectile points that I made out of some old broken pieces. But I believe this was also something that was done in the past. As you saw in many of my broken pieces, there's a lot of broken bases. I had a couple clovis in there that snapped mid-fluting. I had some broken knife blades and even arrow points. And I think it's safe to say that ancient flint knappers did the same thing. You know, in the process of flint knapping, it's very normal to break different pieces of material. I've broken things many a times, but I try to salvage what I can after that break. Ancient knappers, they might have collected a small pile like I do, maybe during a different time of the year when activity wasn't as much, when winter was kind of hitting or the temperatures were changing. They might sit and make a bunch of different stone projectile points, drills, knives, you name it, for the upcoming year. And that's essentially what I'm doing right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've done 6 today so far, but in the past couple days, I've done probably collectively over 20. So I'll spend maybe about a week to 10 days readdressing all those old breaks, turning them into new tools, not forgetting about them, and then I'll move on to the big stuff. But as you even look at it, you can see it just wasn't cooperating. So there's some problems here, and I'm gonna have to try to clear all those out. This side isn't too bad. Fortunately, this isn't the thickest, and I'm not starting off with a huge piece of stone. This is just a break. Maybe turn this into some sort of hand blade. Yeah, that worked. Just kind of right up and through. Little pop. I dress it as if it's a brand new piece of stone that I've already come across. I'm not trying to think about what it was, but more or less this is the piece that I'm working with, and that's what that stone is, you know. So on that's the platform. I'm looking to roll all this material kind of down into here. And hopefully that shock wave takes this little mass here, this little hinge on this side, and just clears it all out. There we go. That was the chaos, and that's it cleared out. Let's go with the flat. And that one broke. Man, I took a big chunk out. Since we're in the recreation zone, we'll just keep going. Sometimes they just keep breaking. No big deal. That's the thickness. Sheared off a chunk, so this might be just like a little teardrop blade, just a little pocket knife. We'll dress this side, and then we'll flake that side. When I'm doing a lot of my initial flaking, I use a rounded kind of flaker. When I'm looking to drive far flakes, use my long caribou split. For that finer edge work, I'll use these little tines here. This guy is for moving mass. That flake went from there all the way right to the middle. Big, it's robust. Big wide platform. I can push it far. Those flakes just travel the whole way up and through. I'm looking at my edge. You look at This edge right here. Easiest way, making it as straight as possible. As I look down in this area, I can see it's not straight. Need to match this edge over here to this edge up here. You have to finish your blade, and it requires you looking at it from both sides, doing some rotations, doing some flips, and you're not driving flakes, you're popping flakes down. This will help finish out your edge. This will help get a straight edge. More importantly, be able to understand where the mass is actually on that projectile or that blade. So as I'm looking at this one right here, right, so I've got one side, I got two sides, I can see that my edge rides down just a little bit here. So all I'm going to do, give myself a little abrasion, that's so my flaker can grip on, and I'm going to pop the flakes into my hand. That's going to raise that edge up. You have to spend the time with the stone to really create a nice straight edge. Like I'm not even worried about the little hinges there. I don't care. This is a tool, not a trophy, right? At the very beginning, this was similar to this piece right here. It broke once, it broke twice. Keep this, save this, turn into a little tool. This is my tool of the choice, you know, just a little teardrop. This is one of the best style of blades to carry in your pocket, whether you're going to work, you're traveling overseas, kind of following in that same sort of mentality as those ancient flint knappers, that they were working on something, they were spoiling it out, breaking it out, and they're starting to thin, and they're kind of getting into that shape. What happens when it breaks? Do they get rid of it? No, they saved it, worked it into a tool. I like to save all of mine when the days get a little bit colder and I can sit and craft a whole bunch of little tools out. Anything that I break, I save, I put in my little bin, I come around once a year, and I rework them into a number of tools. Save your stone, don't toss it out. If you gotta step away from it, readdress it later on. Tools, not trophies. All right, that's all I got. Appreciate you watching.